Hello friends, welcome to the Tartarian Meltdown documentary. In this documentary, I am going to do my best attempt to reveal one of the biggest secrets of this realm. As you hopefully know, we are being fed lies and false narratives by the mainstream science group and education systems. And I'm gonna show you something that was hidden right in front of our noses our whole lives. You may not agree to what I'm gonna show you immediately, but I suggest you to give this documentary a chance, as there is a big possibility that you will change your mind along the way. I find this information very important, and it will give the right minds a better understanding of their history and reality. This will require you to really listen to my words and study the pictures I'm gonna show you. This will also require you to forget everything you were told by your history teacher and mainstream geologists for a minute. And keep your mind as open as you can, as I'm gonna explain to you what I see when I look at some of the so-called rock formations and also some of the buildings that we can find all across this realm. Remember, I am just a messenger. You are the one who are now listening to this message. You are the one who's gonna have to decide if you agree or not. All of the pictures presented in this documentary is found on the internet, as I am unable to travel to these locations and take pictures for myself, because there is another big lie going on at the moment, which includes face masks and body injections. But that's another rabbit hole for another time. I do not know where all these pictures are taken, so I'm not gonna say too much about the locations, because it really doesn't matter. The buildings and the damage are all the same everywhere. But I guarantee you that all the photos are real, and you can go to these locations and see for yourself. So, let's get started. Let's get to the fun and interesting part. I'm gonna first start off by trying to make you understand that there was an advanced civilization here in the past, which nobody in the so-called education system told you about. In mainstream history class, we are told that the ancient civilizations were uneducated and dumb as cavemen who like to hit each other with sticks, right? What if I said that couldn't be further from the truth? What if the mainstream history class were specifically designed to hide something from us? Something very important. A truth that reveals the whole fraudulent education system of the modern day alone. We are about to dive deep into the rabbit hole of a past advanced civilization, so buckle up. The evidence of their existence is all around us. The crazy part is how it was only hidden by words of lies. I'm gonna keep showing you pictures here of some buildings while I speak. But not just any kind of buildings. You will see that many of these buildings have a repeated architecture, and we can find them all across this realm. The United States, Europe, Little Norway, Africa, the Middle East, Russia, Japan, Australia. You get it, everywhere. And for that to be possible, all the civilizations across this realm at that time had to know each other and communicate with each other, right? But have you ever thought the thought that it could have been just one civilization everywhere? That's right, a civilization so huge, so well established and advanced that they built their buildings everywhere. And they were not just buildings. I believe them to be machines and electrical devices. Try to pay attention to the domes, spires, towers, columns, etc. of these buildings. I'm gonna tell you a little secret. Shh. If you look at a city from a bird's eye view and compare them with a circuit board on a computer, it looks identical. Identical. Here, let me show you. This is a city. This is a circuit board. This is another city. This is many circuit boards put together. Do you see it? Here's another one, just to make sure. Circuit board. City. Crazy, right? Previously, I mentioned that I believe these buildings to be machines and electrical components. When you look at the patterns of this universe with an open mind, you'll start to notice that everything looks electric. The human body, leaves, sea creatures, trees, and rivers, just to give some examples. Do these patterns mean that this universe and/or realm is all made up by electricity? Just think about it. Every living thing needs water and energy to be able to live. Energy. Here is a few quotes from Nikola Tesla, who mysteriously were removed from mainstream education systems. If you don't know who it is, I suggest you to look him up. It shouldn't be difficult. Quote 1. If you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. Quote 2. The day science begins to study non-physical phenomena, it will make more progress in 1 decade than in all the previous centuries of its existence. Quote 3. Earth is a realm. It is not a planet. It is not an object, therefore it has no edge. Earth would be more easily defined as a system environment. Earth is also a machine. It is a Tesla coil. The sun and moon are powered wirelessly with the electromagnetic field, the ether. This field also suspends the celestial spheres with electromagnetic levitation. Electromagnetic levitation disproves gravity because the only force you need to counter is the electromagnetic force, not gravity. Though free to think and act, we are held together like stars in the firmament. Remember the word ether. It's gonna be handy for you later in this documentary. Not gonna say too much about Nikola Tesla in this video, but he was a scientist who was born in 1856 and he died in 1943. I believe him to have reinvented some of the technology from the old world. One of the most important inventions are the free energy from the ether, etheric energy that can be harnessed and stored completely for free. Listen, if this is true, then why the fuck are we using cabled electricity which we have to pay for? The answer is simple. Greed and power-hungry parasites have turned humanity into modern-day slaves. The worst part is, they don't even know they are slaves. This realm has become a huge mental asylum. It seems like the ancient civilization, which we call Tartaria, knew all about this place and how it works. I'll show you more of their architecture while I explain more. The parasites are using extremely big amounts of energy and effort to hide the intelligence of the past civilization from you. They want you to believe in the nonsensical evolution theory and how we are at the peak of human intelligence right now. This is false information. There is a big reason why they want you to believe in the nonsense theories like evolution and Big Bang. It is to make you feel insignificant and worthless. They want you to believe that you came from a cosmic accident and that your existence is pointless. Hopefully this documentary can help you to understand that you are in fact a divine being of consciousness. Your life itself, experiencing itself. And don't bring the popular so-called holy books into this way of thinking. Those are also mind control devices designed so you willingly give away your power to authorities like governments or made-up beings like invisible sky daddies in the clouds. People need to understand that no people can tell us what to do, whether it is some criminal pedophile in the government or some creepy sky wizard who are taking notes of your life and judging you. People need to understand that we are the only one who's here. Just look around. This place is for me, for you, and everybody else. Nobody owns this place. This is a realm, and this realm is supposed to provide everything we need. There is plenty of untouched and uninhabited land everywhere. Food can be grown everywhere, and clean water flows from the melted buildings all around us. Melted buildings? I'll get to that later. Listen, this is very simple. If there suddenly were no man-made laws or rules, would you have gone full Rambo and killed every guy you saw? Of course not. That's not what humans do. That's what mentally ill people do. That's what criminals do, whether we have these man-made constructs or not. I'm gonna give a little input on gun laws while we're at it. So, most people are not allowed to own guns, right? That means there is only two groups of people who will have guns: governments and criminals. But since the governments are criminals, it's really just one group of people. How do you defend yourself against insane people with guns when you don't have a gun? Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Good. Now let's move on. Let's look at some more of these old buildings, so I can change your perception of reality the next time you take a walk through your town. Because I know you have seen these buildings before. You just need to look at them properly. Most of these buildings are said to be built in the late 1800s by the mainstream, but proper research says that's another lie. One reason is how there is zero photographs of the construction of these buildings, and cameras have existed since the mid-1800s. If you were able to build some of these magnificent buildings, and you had a camera lying around, wouldn't you be proud and maybe take a picture or two? Just see today, people are so proud of themselves that their phones have 210 extra pictures on the camera roll after a trip to the bathroom. Another thing that's weird with these kind of buildings is how almost all of them seems to be buried in what many people call mud. I'll show you some pictures. It seems that there have been an event here in the past that resulted in these buildings being buried and damaged, some of them more than others. And this event seems to have happened worldwide. Now, get ready for the really exciting part, because now we are gonna talk a little bit about how we think the old world empire were wiped out and erased from his story. We're also soon gonna look into the melted buildings, which is a mind blower if you got the mind capacity to understand it. This old world empire seems to have been around for thousands of years before they were wiped out. You'll hopefully soon understand what I mean by that. According to independent research, it seems like some cataclysmic event happened not that long ago, which got rid of the old world civilization and most of their buildings. We call it the X Factor event.